to you about what you just said about me calling Cassandra the C word.
Mm-hmm.
It seems as though, Kim, that, you know, the people, your little interest group, you can push, 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 and push. But if somebody pushes back, they're the bad guys. And then, yes, I called her the C word after she called me trash. So if you don't want to hear it, don't say it. Not to me, anyway.
Well, this could
So
go
you have
on
a
all
good
night.
day, Kim. Yes,
This
Kim.
is personal. Why
Yeah.
are we taking up everybody's time in a city meeting? It's
Because
ridiculous.
evidently Mr. Bruton found it very offending as to what he was told.
I thank Mr. Bruton for speaking. I will address it with him after the meeting. It's a personal matter, but it does bring up a good point that maybe for the next committee of the whole, we can talk about procedure and security for our elected officials walking out to the parking lot at night. There's been some issues with lighting. We get out sometimes 8, 9 o'clock, and so for the next committee of the whole, I would like to bring that up as a topic discussion for security matters. Maybe another designated area for parking, or maybe just security, police presence, so that, you know, once the public meeting is over, that you know, the elected officials can, if they choose to, safely get to their car without being harassed or anything.
Mr. Mayor, I had a conversation with Chief Tyndall earlier this week. He had received some expressions that council may desire to have someone accompany them as they leave these meetings. We have determined that there is an area to the north of the building that is signed city vehicles only. In the future at council meetings, those slots will be vacant and they can be used by the city council. Following meetings of council, Chief Tyndall is willing to meet anyone with an interest on council. The room that's just adjacent, and he will walk those members that desire it out to their vehicles.
Okay. Yes, ma'am.
Carol Johnstone, 5914 Hogan's Alley. It's so disheartening to come to the meetings time and time and time again and watch groups of people disagree over and over and over. And it's so divisive for our community. It's a really sad state of affairs when Mr. Bruton, which that should have been a personal item to discuss with him, just like it was a personal item for Sharon Holly and Cassandra, and Sharon Holly and threatening Katie Sanborn one afternoon too, that people can't respect differences and go on. Mr. Bruton did not represent everything he said correctly. He was leaving the parking lot, and I was standing there yelling and screaming as he was backing out. So that he didn't say that part. But even further than that, I don't know when it's ever going to end. I think Mr. Bruton a lot of times is very, very negative. He doesn't come up with positive things, and that doesn't help his cause. However, he did rally all of his people to come, so he has been talking about it. But again, it's dividing the community. It is dividing the community, and you're not helping. You're just dividing the community more.
Oh, all right. Well, hey, we're not.
Okay, let's call.
Mr.
Let's move on
Mayor.
with
Jack,
business.
Mr. Mayor.
don't- it's okay, Jack. It's Jack. It's okay. It's
Mr.
okay.
Mayor,
It's okay. It's okay.
Mr.
No more
Mayor,
discussion?
And Miss Johnson, all I'm going to say on this, that no more discussion on this. This is not even an item that was on the agenda. Mr. Bruton had a right to come up and speak under persons to appear, and that's fine.
Right.
And what I'm going to do is I'm going to speak to him private. This is a private matter. It's not official business of the city. I haven't had a chance to speak with him yet, but I will speak with him on it. As there's two sides to every story, and I have my side too. He had his side, but I'm going to conduct it, and we're going to. No, Dad. No.
Mr.
No,
Mayor.
Dad. No.
Mr. Mayor.
Told part of the story. He
told the candy
Order.
part. He didn't tell the part where he started the
Chief.
conversation.
Dad, you got to sit down. You got to sit down.
Mr. Mayor.
Hold on one second, Ms. Johnson. What I'm going to do is I'm going to speak to Mr. Bruton, and we'll have a civil conversation about it. There's two sides to every story, and if Jack, you can go outside. Chief Tyndall. Chief.
Mr. Mayor, if I might speak, I was trying to
Speak.
say a few things. Thank you. It is very disturbing when we get to this point. I understand that. Not only on the outside, but even when we've had meetings, I've been attacked inside. However, I'm bigger than the attacker. So I was able to deal with it. But what I want to say, Mr. Mayor, you are a leader among leaders in the political arena. You are a leader among leaders in the educational arena. Now, it has been a lot of junk on the Facebook. And as a retiring administrator, and I still work very closely with the school system, with parents, with students, this stuff is getting out to the student level. And I'm very displeased with that. Now, I think it was asked two questions here. Whatever the truth is, where is truth? What is truth? You know what the truth is, Mr. Mayor. Alfred knows what the truth is. Alfred knows where the lie is, and you do too. But what I'm saying here, since it happened in a public setting, in a public situation, I ask you, Mr. Mayor, to respond to Mr. Bruton in a public situation. I believe and I do know that the truth shall set you free. I do not want to see us continuously bogged down in this. We have opinions, and it's okay to have opinions, but it is not okay to express to one another, and we are all supposed to be brothers and sisters, hurting information. I know how that feels, but that's okay. Mr. Mayor, you apologized to me some time ago, and I appreciate that. You were man enough to do that, and I know that you're man enough to do this too. And I'm going to ask if you would apologize for the language that you used, which is not good. I don't like everybody over the city of Milton, the county, the state of Florida, knowing that my mayor used that kind of word. So I ask you respectfully, before we move on to any other part of this agenda, we take care of this now. Alfred, would you come back to the podium? Mr. Mayor, could you please be a man that I know that you are? Sometimes we all make mistakes. And if that word came from you, it probably was not from your conscience. So I think, for your students' sake, for the sake of the parents and of this city, and we will move forward, that you go and apologize to Alfred for the words that came out of your mouth. Would you do that for me? And would you do it for the city of Milton?
The conversation that I had with Mr. Bruton was a private conversation in the parking lot after I was accosted by Mr. Bruton. And so if he wants an apology for choice words that were said, sure. I apologize if you want it here.
You're not sincere. I didn't accost you. I just simple question.
Well, like I said, there's two sides to every story.
Simple question.
There's two sides to every
Okay,
story.
if you want to play it like that, but I know it was going to be a judge of character, whether
if you
believe in
felt-
Al Bruton or the mayor. But
If you I mean, I'm
All
sorry.
I was just was asking, like I did one other council. I just said I was disappointed. I didn't rant and rave and come like that. I've never raised my voice.
Okay.
And that's all I was doing.
Again, there's two sides to every story, Mr.
Okay,
Bruton.
okay, no problem.
Right.
But so you are or not?
I believe the mayor said that he apologized.
Well, don't put words in his
No,
mouth.
I'm not. I'm gonna ask him, is that what I heard? Was that recollection correct? You apologize
I
for the
apologize.
words that you
In a
used.
private conversation I had with Mr. Bruton, if he was offended by choice words that I used, I apologize.
Thank you.
But I would also like an apology from Mr. Bruton too,
Let it go.
Right,
because there's two sides to every story, Mr. Bruton.
okay.
I guess the
Miss-
reciprocal isn't.
Mr. Bruton, is it, Mr. Mayor, is it the apology from him to you that he said that he did not
Well,
like the way you voted or whatever is stated in this letter?
yeah.
Mr. Bruton, can you apologize for him for just expressing your concerns about his vote?
Oh, no.
Just not what you said, even just speaking and expressing your opinion.
I'm missing something. No. I was dismayed at what
Well,
what he had
perhaps
said.
I'm wrong on that misinterpretation. Mr. Mayor, what was that?
What do I need to apologize for, Mayor? I'm asking.
Never.
What do I even? You know,
Mr. Bruton, okay. It was a long meeting, an emotional meeting. I'm walking out trying to go home to have dinner with my family after being here almost 4 hours. I'm walking to my truck, which is behind your truck. You put your truck in reverse. You backed up, saw me coming, put it in drive, put it in park, rolled down your window, leaned out your window, and then accosted me verbally.
no.
Now,
No.
my reaction, our conversation. Now you're calling me a liar, and so you want to know, Mr. Bruton? So you accosted me, you threatened me, and so I'm trying to get to my truck, and so I said some choice words to you. You said them back to me. And then you said, I have recorded the whole thing. I knew you would say that. So that's a violation of Florida law, by the way.
If you read my letter, I said that.
Well, there's two sides of the
If you
story.
read my letter, I said that. Well, Mayor,
Mr. Mayor,
Hey,
Mr. Mayor,
I think that
Mr. Mayor.
I think a lot of people are seeing a wolf in sheep's clothing up here tonight.
Mr. Mayor,
there you go again.
Mr. Mayor, if you will, if I can lend my voice again to this situation, Mr. Mayor did apologize for the language that he used. I'm glad he apologized for that, because that continues to show some leadership. And all of this stuff with you accosted him, you did whatever, however. I don't know. That's not a part of the written records. That's all I'm going by.
And that wasn't.
And I think that's what he was saying, that maybe you needed to apologize, not for this, because there's nothing that I see here. I was not a witness to whatever happened, that you need to apologize, other than if the mayor did not want you to say anything to him anymore, maybe you might have been apologizing him for just